Alright, so this is going to be my video. It's kind of a little challenge video on equations with fractions, but I know I've had teachers ask me to give my students more experience with equations, so that's what you're going to get here. We're going to see some that have variables now, and fractions, some that have the same denominator, so that's going to be our level 1. Level 2 is where our denominators are going to change. Then level 3, we are going to have a variable on the denominator and different denominators. And then on level 4, we're just going to add a little multiple of the variable. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite 3 and 4 later, but first I'm going to give myself space. So go ahead and find the level that you're at for when you need it. But I'm going to do 1, 2 on this first page, and then I'm either going to make a second video, or I'm just going to do it on the second page. So the way this is going to work, these are fractions still. This is 4 over 1. Since they have the same denominator, boom, 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 I can add the tops, but I can't actually add a x and a 2. I can only write them as non-like terms, but this is my simplified top. In the bottom I have 5, so I'm just going to write it together now. So this is the same. But since they have the same denominator, I could put them both together. And then I still have 4 or 4 over 1, depending on how you want to look at it. Here, now we just have a two-step equation. Since 5 is dividing over everything, we can multiply 5 to both sides. And then proceed like we would normally. X plus 2 is equal to 20. Opposite of positive 2 is a negative 2 to both sides to balance. And x is equal to 18. Boom. Oopsies. And I started opening up that. That's great. That's great. Good job, Chin. Okay. Past that, we also could have different denominators. So I'm going to put it over 1 here still. So 5, 3, and 1, their lowest common denominator is 15. It's the smallest number they all multiply into. If you can't figure it out, you could always multiply them together and get a common denominator. But the lowest will take a little bit of checking sometimes. Alright, so I am going to multiply everything out by 15 here. So that means I'm going to multiply this left side by 15, and I'm going to multiply this right side by 15. So ideally you learned how to do distributing before, so really I'm multiplying this 15 into both of these. So for me, I'm just going to go ahead and write these out individually. 15 times x plus 5, and then 15 times 2 over 3. Here I've got 15 times 2, I'm just going to multiply that out. 15 times 2 is 30. Okay, so from here, I'm going to do a little canceling. 5 goes into 15 3 times. So now I just have a 1 on the bottom. I don't need to write a 1 on the bottom of a fraction. I'm just going to write 3x. Same thing here, except I'm dividing in and get a 5. 5 times 2 is 10, so I get 3x plus 10. Don't need to write a 1 on the bottom of a fraction. You can if you want. It's equal to 30. And then it's a simple two-step equation again, where I could do some adding, subtracting, and then divide out. And get a nice x is equal to 6 2/3. Okay, so those are the two first level of fraction equation videos. I'm going to make a second video with levels 3 and 4.